Hello everyone! Welcome to another re-upload, this time KyouHaba Sickfic, which directly follows Kiss Your Partner Snack Challenge. Based on that, you can probably guess that it should have been re-uploaded ages ago. Unfortunately, it wasn't, as is usual with me. Sorry about that. As always, special thanks to my lovely patrons and all of you who subscribe and watch these videos. You're keeping this channel alive and going. Thank you very much, and I hope you will enjoy. Yatani was slowly becoming desperate. Since the strange meeting a week ago, Yahaba had insane trouble sleeping, waking up almost every hour drenched in cold sweat and often on the verge of tears. Similarly to after the assault. He seemed to take some comfort in Kyotani's embrace and Bruno's presence by their feet, but Kyotani couldn't help but feel like that wasn't enough. Sure, Yahaba often let himself be heard how grateful he was for Kyotani helping him through the night terrors, but seeing him so rattled still made his heart ache. And lack of proper sleep also seemed to take its toll. Just like in the mornings prior, he woke up to Yahaba's badly muffled groan and shaky breaths, the body in his arms curling into a ball as if he was nauseous. Shige? Yahaba flinched and then coughed in answer, the shaky breaths he took only intensifying Kyotani's concern. It was just subtle, but he couldn't not see the way Yahaba started to jump again whenever he came close to him without prior warning. Just like all those months ago. Sorry. Letting out a soft hum, Kyotani caressed Yahaba's arm, hoping to ease whatever horrors gathered on his beloved's mind. Do you feel sick again? As expected, Yahaba nodded. I don't know what it is. Just thinking about getting up makes it worse. I see. He cupped Yahaba's cheek to turn his face towards him, the barely hidden fright still present in Yahaba's eyes making his chest constrict. It wasn't fair, none of it. Didn't he go through enough already? Do you want to stay at home today too? Yahaba sighed, leaning into the touch to Kyotani's relief. He looked torn, and it didn't take a mind reader to know what he was thinking about. But before Kyotani could speak up to make it clear he didn't mind staying home to take care of him, Yahaba's face evened with determination. No, I can make it to work. It's not as bad as before. A quiet whine escaped his mouth right after the words, his whole body tensing as he curled more into a ball. Kyotani sat up and laid his hand against his fiancé's forehead to check his temperature, but it seemed to be normal. Still. It definitely looks bad. You shouldn't push yourself if you don't feel well. Stay home if you need. They can survive a few more days without you. I can't stay in bed the whole week. Why not? You said they have a substitute for you until you feel better. He cradled Yahaba's face in his palms, desperate to make him understand he wasn't a burden for not feeling well, that he didn't mind taking care of him and that there was nothing wrong about taking things easy. Yet, as always, words betrayed him, leaving him with just touch as his means to persuade, which was never enough with Yahaba. It's going to be fine. It's really not that bad. Shige. I'll be careful, I promise. I'll go home again if I feel sick. Yatani sighed, not convinced in the slightest. He knew Yahaba and how stubborn he could be about certain things. But judging by Yahaba's expression, he already made up his mind about it, and it would be useless if he tried to sway his decision. Alright. But promise you'll call me if you get sick again and then wait for me. I'll come get you. You can't drive me everywhere. You have practice. I can't pull you out of it. Of course you can. I haven't missed a single practice in the last half a year. Coach won't mind one time. But... No. If you insist on going to work, I insist on picking you up. Otherwise you are staying home, even if I have to lock you here. Yahaba pouted, but it wasn't going to help. He could be stubborn, but so could Kyotani. He leaned down to kiss Yahaba's forehead. I'm just worried about you. You've been jumpy since I picked you up from that meeting. And you got sick right the next day too. He squeezed Yahaba's hand and lifted his chin so he had to look into his eyes. He knew he probably shouldn't ask, risking throwing Yahaba into a spiral of fear again. But he had to know. He had to get some answers to do something about it. What happened there? Sure enough, Yahaba's face scrunched in pain. He looked away immediately, his breathing quickening and hands trembling. Shige. I'm sorry. Shaking his head, Kyotani pulled him to his chest, mentally kicking himself for bringing obviously bad memories up. It's okay, I shouldn't have asked. I won't force you to tell me, I promise. But if you want to talk, I'll listen. I know. Thank you. The bad feeling didn't leave Kyotani the whole practice. Even though Yahaba reassured him several times before he left for work with Bruno on his heels, he still couldn't stop worrying. Stupid. Why is he so stubborn all the time? If he just told me what happened at that meeting. It had to be something serious if it managed to get Yahaba physically sick and the mere mention could send him hyperventilating. I swear to God, whoever did that to him, I'll break every bone in their body. He hated being unable to help. He was supposed to protect his fiancée. He promised him so after the assault. And yet something obviously happened again and he couldn't do anything but wait. It was infuriating. You look constipated, even more than usual, may I add. Didn't get your dose of sleepy time today? Kyotani narrowed his eyes at him. Fuck off, I'm not in the mood to listen to that. That seemed to surprise Tsukishima, judging by his expression and the fact he sat down beside him. What happened? Troubles in marriage? Sighing, Kyotani rolled the water bottle in his hands. You could say that. Did you two argue or something? Kyotani bit his tongue. Tsukishima wasn't what he would call a friend, but he had to admit they did warm up to each other over the time they played together. He still didn't forget him the mind games he played during their matches in high school, but that didn't change the fact the annoying blonde was a good player, and not that bad of a person when it came to that. And he could give solid advice when it counted. No, that's not the issue. It's just... Shige's been getting sick recently. Like nauseous and stuff. He says he's fine, but he couldn't even get out of the bed the first 2 days. So he's being stubborn? That's not anything new though, is it? Well, no, but this is different. He went to some meeting last Saturday and something had to happen there. He doesn't want to talk about it, but I had to drive there to pick him up and he's been really distressed since then. Almost doesn't sleep and keeps getting sick in the morning. I want to help him, but I don't know how when he doesn't want to tell me what happened. Tsukishima hummed quietly, to Kyotane's surprise actually thinking about the situation. You know, he could be getting sick from nerves. Nerves? Yeah, like when you are so anxious you feel sick. Tadashi had that during his finals. This could be similar. Maybe whatever happened there had something to do with his coworkers, and now he gets anxious when he's supposed to go to work. Kyotane gritted his teeth, clenching the bottle in his hand. It was the most probable option in his mind, and now that Tsukishima said it out loud, there was no doubt in his mind it was indeed the case. But then why wouldn't he? Kyotane-san, your phone. Your partner is calling. His heart stopped for a beat. He rushed to the main bench where they left their phones, his chest constricting when he accepted the call. What's wrong? Are you okay? Hi, sorry to bother you, but we need you to come to the smaller gymnasium. It's about Yahaba. What happened? Is he okay? Physically, yes, but he's really distressed right now and really needs you here. There's been a situation, it escalated. Please come here, he really needs you. Yeah, sure, I'll be there in a bit. Tell him I'm coming for him. What's wrong? I need to go. Tell coach it's an emergency, I'll explain it to him later. Roger that. He didn't wait any longer and sprinted out of the gymnasium to get his keys and to his car, his heart beating wildly. He arrived at Yahaba's workplace in less than 10 minutes, probably with another speeding ticket waiting for him, but he couldn't care less. Seeing a police car parked in front of the entrance forced him to move faster, taking the steps by 2 or occasionally 3 just to get to the upper floor as fast as possible. Thank goodness it's not an ambulance. He sped up even more upon hearing the growing ruckus above him, along with deep growling echoing off of the walls. A solid crowd was gathered in the hallway, but his eyes were focused on only one person. He let out a relieved breath when he spotted Yahaba standing a bit aside together with 2 women he recognized as his co-workers and an angry-looking Bruno by his legs. Yahaba no less than crumbled into his arms when he hugged him, his reddened eyes and the soft sobs jerking with his shoulders breaking Kyotane's heart. It's alright, I got you. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make this right. I didn't know he would... Shh. It's fine. Don't apologize for that. He turned to one of the women. What happened? Ito attacked him. The police are still looking at the CCTV footage, but it was awful. Most people came when your dog was already hanging on Ito's arm. Satisfaction flared up in Kyotane's chest as he scratched Bruno behind his ear. Good boy. Bruno barked and snuggled under Kyotane's hand to get some more pets before he resumed his previous position by Yahaba's side, with his ears laid flat and slightly bared teeth, staring towards one of the doors opposite them. Kyotane then turned his attention back to Yahaba, who looked seconds before collapse, and cupped his cheek, carefully wiping the tears away. What happened? I went to file a complaint to our boss for the onsen thing. I couldn't let it control me. I had to do something. A broken sob tore from his throat, cutting him off. Kyotane pulled him closer, guiding his head to his shoulder. Shh, it's okay now. He won't hurt you again, I promise. He found out about it and stopped me to talk. I thought he was about to explain or apologize, but he started yelling and then slapped me and... The door Bruno was growling at opened then, and out came 2 policemen, leading another man between them. Yahaba tensed, and Bruno bared his teeth, barking loudly at the man who visibly recoiled. That was when Gyotane noticed the bloody bandage wrapped around the man's forearm, and rage bubbled in his chest. That's him? He did this too? Yahaba's grip on his t-shirt tightened. Don't go after him, please. Gyotane gritted his teeth but stayed where he was and kissed Yahaba's temple. Okay. He would gladly go give the guy a piece of his mind and fist, but the only thing he would achieve by that would be getting arrested too. And so he just burned his glare through the man's skull as the police officers led him away, holding Yahaba in his arms to try soothing at least some of the pain he was going through. They both breathed a sigh of relief when one of the policemen later came to tell them there wouldn't be any consequences for Bruno, and Gyotane couldn't help the grunt of satisfaction when they were told the guy was being taken into custody for assault and harassment. The whole time, Yahaba didn't stop trembling, reminding Gyotane of the time right after the first attack he went through. Let's go home. But I have training soon. I can't... Don't worry, I'll take them over for today. You should go rest. See, it's fine. Yahaba still hesitated for a second before he took a shattered breath and nodded. Okay. Thanks, Imai. If Gyotane was pissed before, now, after Yahaba slowly recounted what happened in the onsen, he was furious. Not only did the Ito guy not take no for an answer, he got pushy and touchy enough to frighten Yahaba into calling him to pick him up. I thought he would come to his senses when sober, but it all went wrong. Gyotane pushed the cup of hot chocolate towards him, squeezing his free hand. You did the right thing with getting your boss involved. I know, but I thought I could manage on my own, that maybe it wouldn't be so bad. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. Don't be, I understand. Yahaba sighed, his hands visibly trembling as he squeezed the mug. I don't understand. He was never like this. What if I did something that made him act out? Clenching his jaw, Gyotane got up and knelt in front of him, cradling his face to make him look into his eyes. You didn't. Nothing justifies what he did. Certainly not anything you did. Understood? Yahaba blinked a few times before he wrapped his arms around Gyotane's neck, hiding his face in his shoulder. Yeah. Good. He kissed his cheek. Want to watch something now? We have snacks and the series you watch is on right now. I would love that. Gyotane scooped him up into his arms and carried him to the couch, smiling when Bruno immediately took place by Yahaba's side and laid his head on his thigh, his tail wagging wildly when Yahaba petted his head. He really got a lucky hand when choosing their dog companion. He then went to gather snacks, blankets, and the dog treats alike, soon settling next to Yahaba too. His heart swelled when Yahaba snuggled closer, prompting him to wrap him in an embrace. There was a lot of work ahead of them again, but they could do this, together.